Hello, everyone. Thanks again for making it our second assembly of the week. Appreciate that, and hopefully you guys have gotten a jump start on your registration process. We have a couple of announcements to make, and then we'll get started. And I think we will start with our seniors. Where's our senior representative here?
So, hi everyone. So this is a message for the seniors. So a really important email was sent out earlier this morning about some details about graduation. So we really want you guys to check your email and fill out the survey, preferably today. So the survey is like 4 questions. Took me like 10 seconds. So please check your email, seniors.
Yes, and if you're graduating, I'll be sending out an email at the end of this week or the first of next week explaining the way we're going to do tickets for this ticketed event for commencement. So be on watch for that. Now our next announcement is from Mr. Parker Wells. Let's give him a hand.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Parker Wells, and I'm a junior exercise science major and certified personal trainer here at Southwestern. And for those of you who don't know, we're actually starting to offer personal training over at the gym, and the hours are posted up there. We'll be offering one-on-one training sessions, workout programming, and I guess like workout advisory. So if you have your own program, we also like offer advice on things like that too. It's going to be myself and Nathan Ward, who is also a certified personal trainer, who are going to be training people over at the gym during operating hours of the gym. And I know up there it says from 9 a.m. to noon, but if 7 or 8 a.m. is really the only time you have available, I guess you can contact me and I will still try my best to wake up and help you train and get you to reach your goals. Anyways, that is it.
All right. So we can try to get in shape right before the end of the school year. Thank you, Parker. And we have our Student Nurses Association. Come on up. What do you got? What do you got for us?
Hi guys, my name is Lumi Navarro and I am the Religious VP for the Student Nursing Association, and I would like to invite every single one of you, not just nursing students, to our picnic that we're going to have. I sent out an email just a couple days ago, and it has a QR code that you can scan, and it's going to take you to a link so you can put your name so we can get a head count for food and other things that we're also going to be giving out. There's going to be activities and food, not just snacks, and it's going to be really fun. So you can bring friends. Just remember to sign up. There's going to be posters around also in the dorm so you can scan the code. And yeah, we hope to see you there. Thank you.
All right, so we can go from the food, not snacks, right into our personal training program. That's great. Okay, and today our assembly is brought to us by Enactus with Miss Lexi Zembladush. So let's give her a hand. All right, are we all done with announcements? Also, don't forget, I know some of you guys still had some questions about the zoo, so please contact Kyle Barrow or Pastor Russ about that. All righty? Okay. Oh yeah, and tonight is our program. And what time does it begin? You want to make some announcements? Well, come on up. Let's ask Ms. Lexi to announce.
Well, tonight is our Spark competition, and like most of you know, some of our students are presenting their business ideas. So please come and cheer them up because they have great ideas for all of us. And I don't know, you never know when you're going to have the next Bill Gates or whoever else, next to you. So come, we're going to start at 4:30 with some snacks and boba and just, meeting people, and then we're going to be starting the Spark competition at 5:30. So I invite you all to come, and this is today, starting at 4:30. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to say anything about Hillcrest Market? And we have another announcement, a very important announcement for this Sunday evening, because it pertains to dinner as well. So this Sunday evening is another program brought to us by Enactus. It's called the Hillcrest Market. And you guys, right there, those of you guys who are residence hall students and you are on the meal plan, you need to pick up your food, your dinner coupons on at the cafeteria during lunchtime starting tomorrow. So Friday and on Sabbath lunch and on Sunday brunch, you can pick up your food coupons so that you can experience dinner at Hillcrest Market. And the cafeteria will be closed on Sunday because we want to sponsor and we want to be part of this wonderful program here. So, and if you're a community student, I will sponsor your dinner as well to the first 50 people. So the first 50 of you that are community students and you want to be part of this event, come see me anytime between now and see me sometime tomorrow or over the weekend and just say, Dean, I would like to have dinner at the Hillcrest International Market, and I will be happy to sponsor you guys. Okay? But don't forget, Sunday, the cafeteria is closed for dinner because we want all of you to eat and be part of the Hillcrest International Market. All right, let's bow our heads as we get started for this afternoon. You guys have any prayer requests? I know a lot of you guys, I know we have silent ones, but if anybody wants to make a public one, and so that we can petition on behalf of you. And anybody? I know we're getting ready for finals. Seniors are hunkering down. I know we've got some things that are coming up. But anybody else? I know we've had some families that have experienced grief, and we want to be mindful of that as well. But are we good? Everybody okay? All right, why don't we just bow our heads as we get started with assembly. Lord, we just welcome your presence into our midst. Father, thank you for the time out. Thank you for the break that we're taking here for assembly. Thank you for just allowing us just a space that we can just clear our minds and just be able to just be attentive to what we are going to hear today. We ask a blessing on our guests that are on campus. We thank you for the time that they have taken to be with us. And we continue to ask you to bless our plans as we get ready for this evening and as we get ready for this weekend. And Father, be with our prayer requests that we have kept close to our hearts. Be with our prayer requests that we have made public in other settings as well. And Father, we ask that you continue to be with families and friends that are experiencing grief. And thank you, Lord, for this time that we can just say that we are alive and that we are able to be here amongst friends and family, colleagues and peers. Thank you for listening to our prayer. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, Miss Lixie, are you? President Patterson, let's give her a hand. President Patterson, yay!
Thank you, Dean. And thank you, Dean, for always having everyone's back. We enjoy the free food. All right, we're glad you guys are here. Final countdown. This semester is over in less than a month. Can you believe it? Does it feel like it's flown by? But it's also been jam-packed with activity. And I really appreciate you all being here today, especially because as I looked at the calendar and all of those little dots on your calendar this month, I thought, wow, these kids are going to be in assembly a lot this month. But a lot of it is really valuable information. I'm going to introduce the person who's going to introduce our speaker. Now, I could stand up here and give you a list of her accomplishments and the businesses that she has created, runs, and owns, and I could tell you all about that, but you could actually Google her name and find it all out. Her name is Lily Valletta. What I'm going to share, yes, give her a round of applause. But what I want to share about her is actually something unique to Southwestern Adventist University, because she and I both attended Southwestern Adventist University at the same time in the 1990s. So I want you all to look to your left and to your right, because the people in this room are your future network. And when I was teaching profiles of entrepreneurship, yes, you are. Everyone get a LinkedIn account and friend each other. Find each other and follow each other now, okay? When I was teaching profiles of entrepreneurship and I was coming up with my speaker list and I was like, I want to bring in someone really awesome and unique to this class. And Lily was living in New York City running her business. And I thought, let me send her a message on LinkedIn. She's never going to reply, but what does it hurt? Literally the same day, she responded, and the next thing you know, she's on an airplane from New York City to speak at Profiles of Entrepreneurship here at Southwestern Adventist University. And since then, we've been able to reconnect and rekindle our friendship. So you can go from here anywhere, and this is your network. So that is really a representation. And Lily, thank you so much for being here. We're glad you moved back to Texas from New York, and thank you for being here today.
All right. So President Patterson just gave away our age, class of 99, proudly. And when I first came to this campus, I could not speak English. There you go. Lots of stories, but I'm not here to tell you about me. I'm here to introduce our super special speaker today. His name is Chris Valletta, and he happens to be my husband. So, and I do have a list of accomplishments and things here, because even though I know him quite well, I don't want to miss anything. So Chris is known and recognized as an award-winning entrepreneur. He appears often on national television as a business commentator, TED speaker. So last year he did a super fun TED Talk in New York when it was back in person, which was great, and also a published author. But what is really fun about Chris is he has managed a way to unify the world of sports and business, and I will let for him to tell you more about that, especially after building many businesses as a serial entrepreneur. His most recent venture, the one that keeps things running and keeps him engaged as co-founder and president, is called Mission. You can go to mission.com, and that's Chris's company. And he is also a former NFL football player. So he has all kinds of fun stories from the locker room and the things that you never know. And hopefully he'll share some interesting perspectives here. But here's where it connects really nicely into the world of business and entrepreneurship and just students and universities, because I know Chris has a huge heart for students and future leaders like you. So he did go to Texas A&M University, so he's a proud Aggie, and received a bachelor's in speech communication and rhetorical theory and political science. I remember in our first date, he did tell me he wanted to run for office one of these days. So I don't know if you still want to, because the world has turned too crazy in politics. But he did go to school for that, and is quite an eloquent guy, and I think you should be in politics one day. And also has an executive degree in entrepreneurship from the Harvard Business School. Currently, he serves as entrepreneur in residence for the McFerrin Center of Entrepreneurship at Texas A&M. He's a representative at large for the Association of Former Students at Texas A&M and is on the board of directors for the A&M Letterman's Association. And he has also served as an advisor directly to the commissioner of the NFL, especially when they were revamping their code of conduct and some of their policies for the players to really show up as full, impactful athletes into the world. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it as that, but he is also an amazing husband and a really, really fun dad that actually just started coaching our son's 9-year-old's flag football team, so that's been quite fun to watch. And guess what? He's an awesome baker. That is the COVID gift that we discovered. And before you come up here, Chris, I think there is a video that is going to play. If we queued it up, I don't even know what to look. Here he is.
Chris Valletta, he has played with the New Orleans Saints and the Tennessee Titans, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Chris Valletta talking. He's former NFL player and author of Teamworks, played for the Titans, the Saints, and the Bucs.
You're fired, Chris. You got great potential, man. Get out of here.
Chris Valletta, former NFL player and author of Teamworks.
Chris was one of 5 former NFL players, personally invited by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell recently to advise on NFL conduct policies.
I'm proud to represent the game for what it can take off the field.
The skills of actually presenting yourself well, communication, those qualities are highly transferable to the rest of your life.
The integrity of the game is everything. The integrity of the players is everything because of what it represents, because of what they represent. What you learn from sports like football represents the best of what's possible for emotional intelligence. Dedication, discipline, desire to be the best, those things are just ingrained in you with this sport.
Our charge as Americans, as individuals, is to model what I believe athletes represent, which is being the best versions of themselves, constantly bettering your best. What made America great is the fact that not everyone ends up in the same place, but everyone has the opportunity to do so.
Does anyone else find it weird that my wife had to refer to notes about me? That was kind of strange. I think it's awesome. Thank you so much for having me. First and foremost, I have spoken in a lot of places, and my wife Lily has never introduced me to speak before. And it's very special that that's happening here. Lily came to this country when she was 17. She had a pocket translator, a student visa, and a suitcase. And what I love about her is that today she is probably, I shouldn't say probably, she is one of the greatest leaders I have ever met in my entire life. She also happens to be an amazing wife and an amazing mother. But the leadership qualities she learned started from great parents and were ingrained right here at this university. You are in a very, very, very special place. And Lily has gone on to an amazing business career and has all these awards and accolades. But the thing I love about it most, and her most, is her passion. She's one of the few people in the world that get to do for a living what they were truly born to do. And if I had to say one thing that she does, is she makes an impact, not just an impression. And so I'm here today to talk to people who want to make an impact, not just an impression. Who wants to make an impact? That was so weak and pathetic. My wife was the one that just cheered. Am I at Southwestern? Am I in the wrong school? I'm here to talk to people that want to make an impact. Moderately better. I'll go with that. There's a crisis in the United States of America, and it's a very real crisis. We have a crisis of leadership in our country. In the mid-1960s, there was a political speech given that many refer to in title called A Time for Choosing. And this speech was given in the context of communism throughout the world. And the United States had to take a position and make a decision as a country how we, as a nation, would stand in the face of communism. We had to decide as a nation that we would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. Right now in the United States, we have a time for choosing. And it's not necessarily just how we'll stand in the threat of communism or in the face of communism, although that is still very much a real threat. It's how we protect, preserve, and enhance the caliber of leaders that come out of this country. Because leadership in the United States is eroding. It's eroding with our political leaders. It's eroding in our businesses. It's eroding in our universities. And I don't see a plan to fix it, but I have one. When I was 16 years old, my high school football coach gave me the unlock to becoming a leader of consequence. And like anything, it requires practice and effort on a daily basis to sharpen this quality and this skill. Like a muscle, you've got to train it to grow. But this simple system that he gave me became the operating system for my personal life, my professional career, and pretty much the topic of every single speech I give. This philosophy can only be told to people who want to make an impact. Does anyone want to hear it? Oh, is this the senioritis thing we talked about before? I'm about to give you the unlock to essentially fixing the leadership crisis in the country upon which you live. Please just raise your hand high if you want to hear this. Okay, good. Now, you got to go there with me because it requires a little bit of imagination. I'm going to share the same story my coach shared with me. If you will do it, close your eyes for a second. I want you to imagine that you are hanging off the side of a cliff by a rope. 1,000 feet beneath you is a rocky bluff. If you fall or you let go, you're going to die. At the other end of that rope stands one person, your rope holder. Open your eyes. Who is that person at the other end of this rope? Now, physical strength obviously being a prerequisite, somebody that could pull you up. So that aside, what emotional and mental qualities does your rope holder possess? Who is this person in your life? Picture them. Who is the person that would rather go down to the bottom with you before they ever let you go? You see, strong arms without a strong mind are meaningless once pain and fatigue start to set in. Rope holders have an exceptional ability to lift others up in any situation. Rope holders are the people that you want to surround yourself with. Rope holders are the ones that will never let you go. We have a massive void of rope holders in our country. In fact, if you look at Instagram or you watch a White House press briefing, regardless of your political affiliation, by the way, all we see are people holding ropes and letting go. We live in a culture that thrives on throwing each other under the bus. We live in a society that is driven off of likes, clicks, and shares. We live in a country that is eroding before our very eyes. We are in a time for choosing. If we, us, choose to do nothing about the leadership crisis in our country, history will record with the greatest of astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening. We need rope holders. We need people that want to share and click and like qualities that build the next generation of leaders. So I ask you, what are the qualities of a rope holder? Throw some out to me. Empathy, 100%. Compassion. Perseverance. What was that? Being brave. Boldness. Courage. Loyalty. Great one. dedication, discipline, the desire to be the best, perseverance, performing under pressure, handling adversity, working in a multicultural dynamic, being coached. See, my 16-year-old self was listening to the blueprint for what it takes to be a leader of consequence. In a sports environment, being a rope holder is necessary. You cannot win football games without your team. The sport of football has 11 people on offense, 11 on defense. If they're not working together, we fail. It is a very simple process that we as a country have forgotten about. We would rather watch the 15-second clip of two people arguing a political point than we would about their commonalities. We have a void of rope holders in our country. I believe we are in a time for choosing. I believe you are in a time for choosing. Mark Twain said, "Never let your schooling get in the way of your education." And here you are in school. So, with the greatest of apologies to the administration of this amazing place, I apologize for perhaps this sounding like I am diminishing the value of your education. That is not my intent. But what you learn, while important, pales in comparison to what you put in the world as a rope holder. Because in school, your education oftentimes does not include things like learning how to persevere, learning how to be loyal, learning courage, discipline, teamwork, communication, learning how to be coached. These soft skills, not technical skills, soft skills, you don't learn in school. We don't teach our kids. We debate over these, initiatives in education. And it's all that makes the news. Critical race theory. Do we teach our kids about sexuality when they're in kindergarten? Are you man, woman, X, Y, who knows? That dominates the news. But it doesn't have to. What should dominate the news is the love and care and respect we have as human beings and in the greatest country in the world, where you have the opportunity to come here with a student visa, a suitcase, and a pocket translator and make a difference. And make an impact, not just an impression. How do we change this? What do we do? I am baffled by the ability that we now have to communicate digitally. I'm baffled by the content that is served up on a daily basis that is designed to suck the life out of us, and I am just as guilty as anyone of going down the Instagram spiral. I made the horrible mistake at one of my speeches of saying the Facebook spiral, and I got laughed at. I realize no one does Facebook anymore, but when it first came out, it was really cool. You are in an amazing institution with values that are beyond anything people at your stage could ever hope to deserve. And while you may not appreciate that or understand it fully, you will. It happens. But now is the time for choosing in your life. Now is the time to decide that when you leave this place, what impact are you going to put in the world that brings people together, not tears them apart? What impact are you going to put in the world that spreads the values of the faith that we have all been graciously given by the creator of this universe. What are you going to put in the world that makes an impact? Not just an impression. See, through the sport of football, I learned what it takes to be a leader of consequence. I learned that life is going to punch me in the face constantly. And in the world of entrepreneurship, which is the path I ended up going down, it's a daily occurrence. I was speaking to the entrepreneurship class earlier, and on the drive here this morning, I mentioned my wife the definition of entrepreneurship, which is the ability to get punched in the face on a daily basis, but to come back and ask for more. The first time I got hit in football, I wanted to run back to my mom and quit. I hated it. Pads were heavy. It hurt. It was uncomfortable. I didn't like it. And had it not been for my parents kind of pushing me to go back, I probably wouldn't have. I was too immature. I didn't get it. I think the fact that the coach said, listen, if your kid's half as good as we think he is, he'll never pay for college or have to pay for anything in school. And I think that was part of the motivation my parents had to make sure I got back out into practice. And they were right. I was very blessed to have an awesome athletic career. But like anything, the NFL stands for not for long. When football was over and when the lights went out, I had to make a very important decision. Am I going to be that guy that sits around on the couch and drinks beer and watches 8 hours of SportsCenter every day? Or am I going to go put something in the world that matters? I married somebody whose sole purpose is to put something in the world that matters. She truly is my inspiration every single day. I am enamored by people who have a heart to serve others. Enamored at the unselfishness that comes with that. Because we all have an ego. We all have an ego. I have one, you have one. We all want recognition. One of my favorite college professors once told me that ego is the anesthesia that numbs the pain of worthlessness. Ego is the anesthesia that numbs the pain of worthlessness. So there are some tools that I'm going to talk about of how to become a rope holder. Tool number one, iron sharpens iron. When we think about what that verse means, and I'm sure a lot of us have heard it, probably heard sermons about it, but the one thing I always go to is that a dull piece of iron cannot sharpen a dull piece of iron. It doesn't work that way. Iron can only sharpen iron if one is sharp and the other isn't. So the first rule to becoming a rope holder, surround yourself with sharp iron. People who have been there, people who have done that, people who have failed, people who have been punched in the face, people who have been hanging off a rope. I had the luxury of being mentored and coached and to play next to some of the greatest athletes on earth. When I first started playing football, there was, I was told I was going to be playing offensive line. I was 15 years old. I was as tall as I am now. I'm 6'3". But when I was 15, I was already 260 pounds. And I couldn't play football. I was too big for Pee-wee, so they had me play basketball. So I was athletic. And so I was 6'3", 260, 15, and I could dunk. I thought I was going to be like the next version of the giant Michael Jordan or something like that. Didn't happen. But when I started playing football, they said, you're going to play offensive line. And there's a guy in the NFL, his name is Bruce Matthews, that we want you to emulate yourself after. So I looked him up. At that time, Bruce was probably the best offensive lineman in the league. Some may have heard of him, some haven't. Offensive line, I always joke, is it's those big, heavy guys up front that no one knows about. But made Tom Brady's career possible, I'm just saying. But Bruce Matthews started his first NFL game when I was 4 years old. He's known as the Iron Man of the NFL because he never missed a start in 22 seasons in the NFL. When I was a rookie in the NFL, I played for the Tennessee Titans. And the person who was in their final season as an offensive lineman playing for the Tennessee Titans was Bruce Matthews. I had the opportunity to be on the same field as the Iron Man of the game. Now, as a rookie in the NFL, you don't get spoken to. There's a whole nother speech I could give about what you get when you're a rookie in the NFL, but not when I'm standing at a pulpit. So I didn't talk to Bruce very much, and I realized that I probably shouldn't when I asked him for his autograph on my first day. And he kind of pushed me to the side and said, later, my son. But I got to watch him perform. I got to watch the things that he did differently. I got to be around a piece of sharp iron. And Bruce did something very unique. Every single practice, I watched this guy start out practice by doing the little things in sports that he would have done as a peewee football player. I watched him over on the sideline before practice, getting in the right football stance, taking the first basic steps as an offensive line, basic peewee level stuff. I watched him do every single minute he was on the field before practice started. You see, he realized that the details, the little things, can oftentimes be the difference between winning and losing. Oftentimes the difference between success and failure. It can also be the difference between winning and winning a Super Bowl. He practiced the little things every single day. The tiny details that matter, that produce leaders of consequence. You see, the chasm between success and failure is infinitely deep, but it's only inches wide. If you want to be a rope holder, if you want to be a leader that makes an impact and not just an impression, you need to live in those inches. Because the difference between one side versus the other is incredible. Incredible. Those inches separate people that know how to win versus people that refuse to lose. The inches separate the people who know how to win and the people who refuse to lose. You see, this is where schooling gets in the way of your education. Or don't let your schooling get in the way of your education. People who know how to win are the ones that, listen, I can tell you the premise of chapter 6 in my marketing textbook. I know the, 4 basics of advertising. I know what to do, but I'm not sure I know how to do it. Someone who refuses to lose is completely different. They may still have that knowledge, but it's an undying ability to never, ever, ever let go of that rope. We are all in a time for choosing. Surround yourself with leaders of consequence. Surround yourself with sharp iron. Focus on improving the little things that matter, the details, the loyalty, the dedication, the discipline, the perseverance. The very definition of self-leadership is doing something you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the worst possible time. Be a leader of consequence. The final tool is to practice every day your priorities. Lily and I do our best to live life by the 3 F's. The first F is faith. I stand here today because of the grace that I have been given through a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, full stop. I am beautifully broken. As our North Star, the life of Christ, as we enter into Easter, is very similar to the life of a rope holder. You know, Jesus had a pretty bad Friday. Does anybody hear what I'm talking about right now? Jesus had a pretty bad Friday. I mean, but he was on a mission to give us life and to give it abundantly. But boy, did he know Sunday was coming. Faith. My life's verse is a very popular verse. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. The beauty of that verse to me, as someone who considers himself beautifully broken, is the joy that comes with that promise. We're not supposed to know why. We're just supposed to trust with all our heart. Trust that that first step, no matter how hard it might be difficult to take, but you can still take it. Because the God of the universe promised some pretty amazing things if you do. The second F is family. Not everyone comes from a great situation. Not everyone comes from a great family. Lily and I were blessed to have an amazing family, unbelievable parents that instilled many of the rope holder qualities. And if you came from a bad family or you came from a great family, the second F is designed to tell you the value that represents in your life. Now, I'm not talking about anything that happened in the past. There is a big reason why the rear view mirror is much smaller than the windshield. You hearing me? I've got lots of stories that I could tell about my past, stories that would cause me to maybe shrivel up, crawl into a hole, and not want to look out. But man, that windshield is big and bright and beautiful, and there's a lot ahead of us. Whether you come from a great family or not, you have the ability to instill family values and teach your kids and other kids the importance that family values represent. Because if anything is causing an erosion of leadership and rope holders in the United States of America, it is a complete void of family values, which obviously, in our situation, is rooted upon the foundation of a relationship with Christ. But at the core is love. The final F is fun. Why would you not want to have fun doing anything? You can't be miserable. You can't be alone. You don't want to feel like you can't have a good time. This is fun. Many of you are like, dude, I'm tired. This is not fun. To be a leader of consequence, to become a rope holder in someone else's life, you gotta have fun. In other words, that means when you're holding the rope for somebody and all they can do is stare at the rocky bluff underneath them, rope holders, in that instance, will tell a joke. You lead others, and you can offer perspective to others that can be rooted in fun and fellowship and friendship. So I'm calling upon all of you, students, teachers, whomever else might be in this room, please protect, preserve, defend, and build the next generation of leaders in our country, because we need it. At a point in our society where the yard sign that you put out front will cause division between neighbors that have known each other for 30 years, man, do we need some rope holders. We need it in our leadership. We need it in our professors. We need it in our government. We need it in our sports. We need it everywhere. I'm honored to be with you. I'm honored to be standing on this stage talking to you. I'm honored because I actually get to come back to a place that shaped my wife, the person I admire the most on this earth. And as I walk the university, and I'm constantly exposed to the amazingness of this place, I can see exactly why. You have a village here. There is a lot of sharp iron on this campus. And I don't care if you're a student body of 40,000 or 400, it makes zero difference. So we can choose to be leaders of consequence as a body of 400, and you could choose to be leaders of consequence as a body of 40,000. It makes no difference. We are at a time for choosing. If you are somebody that wants to become a leader of consequence, if you are somebody that wants to make an impact more than just an impression, if you are somebody that will never let go of that rope or desires to become that person, stand up. Do not let anyone, ever, anywhere, diminish the value of what you're hearing right now. Do not let anyone ever tell you that spending as much time on perseverance and loyalty and dedication and discipline and teamwork and communication, do not let anyone diminish the value of those qualities. Those are the qualities in most demand in our country right now. It's not my opinion. That's a fact. There have been research studies on it. There have been articles about it. The skills in most demand are not the skills you learn in a book. They're the instinctual skills of rope holders. thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for inviting me and letting me be part of this amazing day and gift. And I wish you all the most success. And I, above all else, will pray deeply that you not only are able to trust in the Lord with all your heart, but that you're able to lean on him without understanding. That he will instill in you the character and the DNA of a rope holder. Because if we are able to do that, we will build a country that will truly be the shining city on a hill, which was intended by the very people who started this place. Thank you for the time. I would love to answer questions, to talk about anything or everything or nothing, but I'm up here to impart any level of wisdom I possibly can. So thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Does anyone...
Okay, thank you very much for being here, Chris. Do you want them up there? Or? So I know that some of you have class at 2 o'clock. So what we have arranged, Lexi has arranged for us to take a picture. So she's going to organize all of you guys. If you'll come up onto the stage, they're going to take a picture from the balcony. And then any of you that want to come and say hi to Chris and Lily or ask them any questions one-on-one, you guys good to? They can hang out for a little bit to talk to you all individually. So I'll let the creative direct.
Thank you. Hey guys, hurry up. So I want everybody up here, whoever wants to be in the picture. So we're going to be